I'm gonna show you how to make all of these weird masks with the color shifting and the holo and all the weird things. To do all of these things, you basically just need different types of powdered pigments. The first thing you're going to want to do to your print is probably sand and fill all of the weird gaps and print lines. And once you've done that and you've done a coat of filler primer, you're going to want to coat this in gloss, probably black. I use this appliance epoxy stuff. It's my favorite. I'll talk about that in a separate video, but just make sure your pigment sticks to whatever paint you're using. It doesn't have to be this and it doesn't have to be black. But I like this stuff, so I use it. And the first mask we're going to be looking at today is this chrome type mask made by rubbing graphite powder all over a spray painted 3D print. Alright, we're going to go ahead and apply this graphite powder, and to do this I'm basically going to wrap a tissue around my finger, jam it into the graphite powder, and then rub it haphazardly on the mask. There's nothing particularly fancy about this, so I'm going to rapidly speed through the video of this. Hooray! Alright, so once you've rubbed your whole mask in graphite powder, this is what it looks like in outdoor lighting. It's quite shiny, quite nice, quite dark, lots of bright reflections. And this is with the indoor lighting, just for a fun comparison. Look at my grody gloves. Once you've done one of these masks, you can pretty much do all of them because the process is all the same. Alright, next up we have this pseudo-metallic multicolor chrome gradient mask type thing. It's basically made the same way as the graphite powder, except instead of using graphite, you take this weird chrome nail polish stuff available in multiple colors, and you rub it on your print. And for this particular mask, I'm using 4 different colors, orange, gold, and 2 types of silver, which look pretty much the same when you put them on, and I'm just sort of brushing them on in a gradient, one stripy curve after another. And I'm not masking this off because I tried doing another version with masking and I used painter's tape and it stuck and it made some weird marks in the stuff, so I didn't mask it this time and I painted it on by hand. The nice thing about this is once you put it on in an area, as long as you get good coverage, it pretty much won't take more pigment. So as long as you brush on the orange wherever you want it, you can put on the other colors and brush it over the orange and it's not going to stick. Alright, so this is what the stuff looks like in the outdoor lighting. Nice, not quite as chromy, but you get a lot of variety of colors, and the gradient turned out pretty decently. And in indoor lighting. In my kitchen. Yay. So the next mask we're going to take a look at is this color shifting mask, and this is done exactly the same way by brushing dry pigment onto a gloss black coat. Now in this case, you're going to notice that the mask I'm showing you in the preview is different from the other one because here I am trying a black resist where I paint black acrylic paint onto my gloss coat. This actually worked surprisingly well until I did a clear coat, which screwed everything up. So I'm going to show you the first mask I did before I clear coated it because I think it looks cool. But literally the same thing. Same process. And as you can see, by some absolute miracle, it is in fact resisting sticking to the painted areas, which is exactly what I was hoping for, and the painting didn't have to be particularly neat, because once you gloss coat it, it turned black, except I used a bad gloss coat. It made the color shifting not look awesome, and also fucked up my base coat pretty bad, so that was fun. Yeah. Anyway, so this is what the original mask looks like in outdoor daylight. It looks quite delightful, except for the streaky painting, which again, clear coating would fix. This is what the original mask looked like indoors. Still very fun. And for fun, here's the second coat outdoors. This is after I redid the entire mask and did not do a resist and just did 2 colors of colors. And this is the indoor version of that second mask. Help me, I'm having a stroke, but not really. And finally, for my 4th trick, the same thing again, but with holographic powder. This stuff pretty much works the exact same as everything else, except it's like itty-bitty tiny plastic glitters instead of mica, but it's also grotesquely expensive. In my experience, the smaller the grain or the size of each individual glitter flake, the nicer the holographic effect is going to look. They also sell larger chunky flakes, which will give you a larger, chunkier effect. I shelled out extra money because I like the tiny grains. So, this is that. Same thing. You paint it on. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So this is what the mask looks like outside. Super cool. And also what it looks like inside, which is still pretty cool. A little more subtle. definitely visible. Definitely a fan. So some takeaways from this. 1, test your base coats to make sure powders stick to them. 2, test your clear coats to see if they're going to react with your base coat. Also test your clear coats to see if they're going to mess up the sheen or overall look of the powders you're putting on. Pretty much all of my final masks are uncoated and have no problem with the stuff falling off or anything like that. Wear gloves when you're handling your mask so you don't get weird fingerprints in your stuff, because once you do, it's really freaking hard to get them back out again, even if you wipe them with alcohol. And that's honestly pretty much it. You gloss coat a thing, you rub some dry pigments on it, you don't need to clear coat it, call it a day, make sure you don't get your stuff greasy. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful or something. Bye!